Are we live from the
We
Rockefeller
should be
Center?
live. We should be here. We should be
Live from New York.
audible.
Saturday
We should
night.
be everything, frankly.
Oh, I like this. The background, very tidy.
Do we like it? Do we like
Oh,
it?
we
It's so
does
new.
likes it.
I mean, I saw it already, but I do like it.
You saw it already, but
I got that sneak peek. I got a sneak peek.
Mm-hmm.
It is
But I
the nice.
love it.
Thunder and lightning,
Yeah,
very,
that is
very
awesome.
frightening.
Now I can't get in Casper's way.
Very pretty. Very,
Now you're
very
not
pretty.
getting Kazra's way. No one's getting in anyone's way other than maybe me if I move myself around, but I'm not going to do that right now.
Well, I don't think you can get in. Like,
well, admittedly, half the problem I had the last time was I shouldn't have been streaming because I was tired. I broke my own rule. So, but I wanted to play. So there we have it.
To play.
Okay. Now
Alrighty.
that we are Leve.
I just want to know why everybody's got captions but me, but that's okay. You know
It's
what?
not true.
Michelle
I don't
also
have
doesn't
captions.
have captions, and I'm not too sure what's going on there. I'll figure it out at a time that's not now.
And
And I'm getting
uncaptionable.
everybody's captions.
let's
so
play
I
a
might
game.
need
Oh,
to go
okay.
get headphones.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
that
what
would
it
do
is.
that.
Oh,
That
that's
might be
weird.
we're not wearing
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the live stream, and I'm not seeing. I'm looking at the stream console itself, and yeah, I haven't seen captions from Sam yet.
No,
I
it's
have.
okay. Sam does have captions. I know that Sam has
Sam has
captions.
captions.
Because
But yeah,
I've been checking on this while all of this has been we've been sitting here
Gotcha.
waiting. I've been keeping an eye on it. I know
It's
that
all
Danny
good.
doesn't
I
have
shouldn't have
captions.
said anything to this room full of impressionable people.
You shouldn't have said anything to this room full of neurodivergent people, and I feel like the fault is all mine. How
No, it's mine, obviously. 'Cause
but
whatever.
Danny, it's entirely my fault. Who do you think
Well-
brought everyone together?
You did
well,
gather.
if you're gonna get into that, I'm the one who called you first, so that makes it my fault.
We're
You called me
gathered
and
here
then
today.
you said, gather some friends. Let's play a game. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me just randomly gather all of my neurodivergent friends. So,
Yep.
where do we start? What do we
Excellent
do? What happens
question.
in this game?
I think the motif we've been following lately is we all desperately avoid until about the 7-minute mark trying to introduce ourselves. Then we all scramble wildly to introduce ourselves, so we're done by the 15-minute mark, and then we start playing the game. I think that's the motif we've been following.
We're at 17 minutes now. So what does that mean?
It means we've got
We're
minus
playing the
2
game
minutes.
already.
Yeah, it means we've got minus 2 minutes to do the intros. So
Right.
okay.
So tell us
Run
about
the
yourself.
intro.
We've been live on Twitch longer than we've been live.
Yeah, you could have told me that wasn't the case, and I would have believed you. Linear time is a construct.
Well, and I mean, let's be honest. I think it's actually quite thematic, given the fact that at least one
right.
member of the group is aging backwards.
Oops.
So tell us about yourself, in a way that won't terrify us all.
Who?
Just tell us about yourself.
Oh,
Forget
me.
that part.
Sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
hear a
you.
name.
Oh,
okay.
yes, you.
I heard. Oh, tell us about yourself. I'm thinking it might have been me, but
Definitely you.
So won't terrify. Why would I not want to terrify everyone?
No,
It's
just tell us
Halloween.
about yourself. I took that back.
Right then.
I immediately, I said it and I immediately said,
Okay, so yeah, author, streaming GM, and a rather opinionated somebody on Twitch. Also like to do maps, and what else? There's a whole bunch of stuff. Probably the best thing to do is just follow me on Twitter, MichelleV69, and keep half an eye on me on my website, michellervalancourt.com, michellervalancourt.com. Next.
great. Next. Danny, you spoke. There you go. Your turn.
Oh no! This wasn't supposed to happen.
And yet it did.
I am Danny, actor of voice and also the rest. You can find me at DTCam Jansen. I play games. I play this game. I play Daybreak Prep on Saturdays sometimes.
So good.
It's very fun. I play a very different animal, a beast of an entirely different kind on that show. And I like to play games, and I direct things, mostly podcasts. That's me.
Great. who is going to speak next?
You did.
You did.
Jamie.
Did in fact.
You just volunteered. Go ahead.
That's me. I'm Jamie. You can find me on Twitter at Muffin Manifesto or on my website jamie-collett.com. I'm a voice actor and director based in Australia. I also want to shout out my friend Tess on Twitter at Artsy Adversary, who made me an incredible commission of my home campaign character, Hugo. She's very,
Awesome.
very, very talented artist, and her commissions are open.
Neat.
Sam.
Me.
It's you.
Hello, I'm Sam. I'm also a voice actor and a performer. You can find me on Twitter at @the_RealSamEP. I was also on Daybreak Prep as a sort of a surprise guest for the last 3 episodes.
I missed you, Raphael.
That was a lot of fun to get to bring back Raphael Sato and to see where they're at after the first season. So, yeah.
It's me.
It is.
Hi, Chantel B
Hello.
on Twitter. I have a link tree. I play a lot of games. I run games now. I mean, I run game.
I run the game.
Run one game. And that is Daybreak Prep, and that's on a Saturday at
Typically.
9 p.m. Eastern, whatever day it is. It's usually sometime in the evening Eastern time.
It's 9 p.m.
Check out the Lost Worlds Archive Twitter, which is We Are Lost Worlds, and that will give you information about when we're playing because we tweet about it. I flipped my room around and it's not done, but like it's so much better already. I love it.
It looks nice.
It looks nice. My bed gets to be there and not behind me. I'm having a great day. Apart from all the plumbing issues. Anyway, let's play a game and not have plumbing issues, please.
Roll
You
that
said
beautiful bean footage.
you s-
Speaking
said
of
monster,
plumbing
please.
issues,
I don't
should
like. Don't start any sentence. Please never start any sentence. I don't want it.
Mm-mm.
So I'm gonna ask, given the fact that the thing that goes thump in the night was described as anatomically improbable, I'm going to just double check that everyone is pretty much okay with body horror, even if it slightly trends into anime-esque things with tentacles and claws. Yes. If no, then I'll keep the descriptions to a minimum, and I will allow your imaginations to run rampant.
I would say keep the descriptions minimal.
Okay. Sure,
My
no problem.
imagination will do what it does.
Okay then.
Remember, Michelle, I want you to remember that for the next, if you scare me, for the next 30 years, I'm going to remember this exact moment.
That is kind of the thing also. I don't forget things.
I have some bad news for you.
I'm saying if you successfully scare me, I will remember it. It will go into the archive of things that scared me.
We gotta make
like-
memories, fam.
like being on
Just kidding. Yeah, I try not to traumatize my players, but I do delight in traumatizing my characters.
I'm
That's why
easily
I'm checking where the lines are.
Go for
I
it.
think we were all prepared for aberrant tentacle monsters. So, like,
I'm fine with aberrant tentacle monsters. I'm not fine with gross tentacle monsters. Does that make sense?
Fair enough. We will keep it relatively. Yeah. We will keep it relatively imagination intensive.
Sounds good to me. Should
Basically
we do the
a
intro?
large chibi.
nothing's going to be as scary as Mr. Ghosty here anyway. So.
I was just going to say. Sorry, I just had a flashback to the original Ghostbusters.
No.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That's about the extent of what I can handle. So yeah.
I mean,
All right.
you know what? During the intro, I'll go get my
Oh yeah, you get a
Greg?
bit the boop, don't you? Yeah, you
I'll
have
go
to
get
bit the boop,
Greg.
don't you?
Greg.
Huh?
Okay.
Let me do the button. I'll do the button.
Yeah.
Do the button.
Do the button.
boop.
Hello, we've returned.
Oh, hello, Greg.
This is Greg.
All right.
Greg.
That's
Greg.
Greg
That's
wants
spine
you to
grinder
know
in
it's
the
all going to be
background.
okay.
Know that at the end of the day, he's not a rock monster. He's not a rock automaton of
Monster.
concerning status. Anyway,
That you
put
built
that
out of
down,
parts
and
of
I'll
your
get my
friend.
headless
I'm just-
dinosaur ready.
I was gonna
Dragon.
say, yes, the emergency safety bear. Yep.
Very
Yeah,
prepared.
tearing open the dragon. That's not ominous.
However, speaking of tearing open dragons,
Were we?
Must we speak of tearing up?
Begins.
So, when we left our intrepid heroes, there had been some discussion about someone of relative interest to the group throwing a fairly spectacular hissy fit.
It wasn't me.
Who threw the hissy fit this time?
I had to guess.
Mysel, would you like to remind everyone what it was you saw when you were seeing?
Oh, right. I thought you meant within the party, and I was just like,
Yeah, it's like
I
who
don't
did
Who
it
threw
this
a
remember.
fit?
But you mean Jenny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for all her airs of being cool, calm, and collected, she was not that at
Somewhat
all.
feisty.
Turns out she's not
Somewhat
happy when she
feisty.
doesn't get the things she wants and being denied. It was kind of funny to watch, actually, to be completely honest with you. Had a full-blown tantrum. It is also it was quite amusing getting to listen into that conversation as well, because it's for someone who comports herself with this air of knowledge and superiority. It was fun just listening to her, knowing that she had no idea what she was talking about, and that her understanding of the scope of the situation was limited at best. It's funnier, but much, much funnier when Alexandre called her out for just that. Though it does mean that she's now going to attack us with a demon, so, swings and roundabouts.
Ups and downs.
But we've got time, and I think we'll be okay.
All right. So yeah, What? So you folks had been told that, or had heard that because of something going on, it would take until nightfall the next day before whatever it was that was going to happen could happen. Which essentially gave all of you a good chunk of the day to be, out and about, as it were.
You mean getting to somewhere safe?
Potentially, or fortifying the position you're currently in, as you please.
Whatever suits, whatever suits the group.
Dig a hole, run like hell, whichever you prefer, really.
Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel. Well, one of us can fly, so...
Oh, good for you.
I'm sure more of us could fly if we really thought about it and believed in ourselves hard enough.
Not my new friend.
Enough Dumbo feathers, and we can go anywhere.
That's right. All you need is faith, trust, and a little bit of dragon something.
Something, dragon something.
something desperation. I mean,
We're talking about flying,
serious
right? Not playing basketball. Hope isn't enough.
Something really aggressive magic powers that are scary every time you talk about them. That's what I'm getting at. Use your magic powers.
That's not how they work.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Well, maybe it's time that you decided that maybe it is how it works. Consider.
Oh, dear.
I just did Alexandre was making the golem. Was that like overnight or during the day?
That was overnight. I
Overnight.
I specifically remember because the idea was that she would, if able, Alexandre would sleep the day off, so wouldn't be suffering from fatigue when the bad things arrived.
Right.
But we also kind of need to we can't just be like, Golem, please fight for us, and it will go yes, because
so the
goes for like 6 hours.
Yes. So just in time for the bad things to show up, it will stop actually being obligated to help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love
Which
that. Love
is
that. Love
fine for Alexandre because that is how she rolls. Not going to obligate anyone or anything to fight for her. That's not how that works.
I didn't say this was a solution. I said it was a crafting project.
You did say. I do remember that. I distinctly remember that happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, about that.
What? Yes.
I believe it asked what my bidding for it was.
That was the
Yes.
last. Yeah.
Yeah, that was essentially the note we closed on. Was it, activating the spell, working properly, it basically putting itself together, becoming a magically animated creature, and then because of course it is under the initial Gaias, if you will, of its own creation. Yes, it asking how can it serve.
I love how I had 2 weeks to think about this.
And very carefully didn't.
No, I very carefully did, and I had phrasing, and now I can't remember what that phrasing was because at the time I didn't write it down. I was just thinking about it as I wandered around the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've gotten into the habit of every time I'm finally playing in a couple of games now, so I have a habit of leaving myself voice notes on my iPhone. Oh, cool thing for my character to say, record. I don't remember to record anything else for myself, but I do remember.
You'll start treating yourself as a character. Cool thing for me to say.
Cool thing for me to say.
Scheduling thing I should do. No. Cool thing my character could say. Oh, hang on.
At the end of the day, all Alexandria would ask is, what do you want to do?
Yes.
And again, like I say,
Unbelievable.
it's the eyes aren't really their points of magic, that so there's no iris to focus onto. There's a little bit of uncanny valley with it, and it will look at you and it will respond in this. Again, it's this infrasound range, deep bass rumbling through your feet kind of sound, and it will intone, "Serve my mistress."
Then, well, we are still. We're doing things to prepare for something that's going to attack. So maybe think about whether or not you still want to do that when you don't have to anymore.
There'll be this long pause. I cannot conceive of not wanting to defend my creator. I shall defend my creator.
Okay, that is fine.
Cool.
We'll see how you feel in 6 hours. But for now, that sounds like a great idea. Do that if you want to do that. Yes.
Love that for you. Love that.
Yeah, no one's laughing right now. That's a bad idea. Speaking of which, actually, I'm probably going to need stats for this creature.
Well, that's the thing. You tell me.
I thought you decided the stats.
No, it's you get a stat pool because of the creation boon to assemble your character from, to assemble a critter from.
Mhm.
If I recall correctly.
I thought. Oh, but maybe it's because I rolled
let me go look.
so well that I get
Yeah.
it. I choose.
Yes, I mean you maxed out. We know that.
Yes.
Boopy doop boop boop boop. So we're looking for the creation.
Exactly.
Oh.
So it's the GM, not the player, is
That's what I
responsible for
thought.
deciding the attribute. Unless, and again, because I think you're using prototype rules instead of the official rules.
No, it's this. That part of
it's-
it didn't change.
The GM, not the player, is responsible for deciding the attributes and abilities of this animated creature and should follow the guidelines established by the simple build section.
Yeah, that's.
What page are you on?
I'm on I'm just reading the boon.
Oh,
Great Moustache.
yeah, I know.
Great Moustache said.
Anime. That's the
Common
animation
Boon has
boon.
a
Yes.
table, but animation I can look at a simple build NPC.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
they
Yeah.
typically-
Alright,
I'll
okay.
do that while you do this
Typically
then.
limited to subhuman intelligence, such as zombies, combat droids, or golems, and
Yeah.
the highest attribute. They can't have attributes higher than the attribute that Alexandra used to create it.
Yeah.
So
Now
nothing higher than 6. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
I'll do that.
All right.
And then.
Yeah. And that's page 113, if I remember correctly.
Dankeschön.
It's right around 113 in the PDF anyway.
Okay, I'll find it.
All right. So what is the idea? Mysol and Spider, of course, awoke to the sound of this thing coming to life. And so okay, we know how that went, I believe was the quote. And it seems to me you folks are essentially right on the edge of the chunk of unclaimed territory, if you will, between the cliffside and the Gifted Whisper Warriors, with the Progress Confederacy's lands to the north and northwest, and then the Burn Fire Tribe's lands to the southeast. you know, based on the route you've taken, you're sort of halfway between where the Confederacy territory lines blur with the Gifted Whisper warriors and the top edge of the slope for the plateau is sort of where mentally I have you folks placed. So is the idea for you to pitch down here and dig in, or are you going to try and make some more distance before sunset, or what are you up to?
I mean, I guess it depends on how defensible we think this area is, because it's not a bad thing to get further distance from, like... I mean, we were far enough away from people that might as well feel it was okay to shift over to Hio for a little bit.
Yeah, There's nothing immediately around this area.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a fighter, but if I had to say, I am always in favor of not giving up a spot that we can defend for the hope of a place that we might be able to defend. There's something to be said for the fact that we've been here and we're here already. Because if they catch us running, that would be bad.
So there are a couple of things that are of note on the map. From where you folks are having your breakfast, directly due west is a set of ruins, about 11 miles away. 11 kilometers away. And so that's the catch is that, you know, with grasslands, there's no road, that kind of thing. It's more like 22, which is about, you know, that you get there around noon. And then you'd at least have some walls that you could put at your back at some point. It's the ruins are probably what's left of either a small settlement or a large farmstead. And if you press onwards, you know, sort of the shortest route you possibly could take, it's about 24 kilometers to get to the Burn Fire Tribe. But again, at that point, you're going to be going through hills, scrublands, things like that. It doubles or more the distance effectively you have to travel. So that would be almost a full day before you'd get to the edge of the Burn Fire Tribe.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that.
That seems, yeah.
We don't have the time. We don't.
Yeah.
We can't risk it.
I was going to
On the other hand,
especially if we had Kaz try and do like reconnaissance to see if there's an area, but if there's an area already that we already know of, that probably sounds.
I'm happy to do a flyover. You guys just need to tell me what you're looking for. I don't.
I'm not sure we're going to find better than the ruins.
Yeah, walls specifically are good for me, though somewhere without a ceiling for you guys is probably ideal.
That would be ideal, yes. But I'm not gonna leave you guys. I just want to say that I did make jokes about being able to fly a couple minutes ago. I'm not gonna fly away. Just want to put that out there. Yeah, sort of like.
We know, Kaz.
Okay.
No one's suggesting that.
I know. I just wanted to say it just before anything happened, because you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna think about it. And but I'm not gonna do it because I would never do that.
I mean, it's nice that Mysel didn't think you would, but I did. So
I appreciate your honesty as always, Alexandria. I'm gonna think about it. Probably right up at the front at first. I am going to think about it, but I promise I'm not going to go through with it.
Don't make a promise you can't keep.
I don't. Ouch. I generally don't. And then she flies away.
Just immediately.
Forever. And that's a series wrap on Kaz. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
You know what? Actually, Alexandra, you're right. I won't.
That's a good one.
I did wonder if it like the possibility of trying to like potentially just Hio try and beeline to find the Burnfire tribe and convince them to help, but that's such an outside chance that I don't think it's worth doing.
Well,
It's as good a chance as anything, I guess. You
I
know?
mean, but also they would have to get back here in time.
Yeah. It's also like I wasn't entirely clear on how far away they were, but it feels like while it would be quicker to be able to fly there, it's still
You'd
like
still have to they'd have to run
they'd
back.
have to come back.
Like
Yeah.
that's
so
where it not
it's
really gets it.
25 kilometers to get to the edge of their territory.
Yeah.
So from where you are to the settlement is there, as in it's on a map, straight line is 45 kilometers. So that is a full day of flight for Hale.
Yeah.
And then, presuming that they could all move without touching the ground, i.e. could straight line back, it's still another full day to get back.
Yeah.
Right. And so, basically what it would functionally do is, the cavalry would show up on the second day of the siege. That's only of interest if it actually turns out to be a siege.
This is also being able to convince the famously xenophobic tribe to help. So yeah, no, none of that.
We'd love to see it. Yeah.
None of that sounds useful.
Great.
Yeah, like
I
I like our plan that they might, want to talk to a dragon. There's also a chance they'll be like, "Fuck a dragon."
Kill it immediately.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, but yeah, that's what I would do almost immediately.
That's just a minute.
I'm gone. I shouldn't have said that. I'm gone. She's gone.
Came back long enough to say that and then left again.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. Bye. Yeet.
So we stay here and we
We go to the
Fortify?
ruins.
stay here and we go to the ruins. But that's not staying here, that's going to the ruins. So we go to the ruins
Yeah, and then fortify.
and then fortify. I don't know what that I don't understand how to fortify. We'll see it when we get there, I suppose.
And you should sleep.
I should sleep. Oh, that sounds so good. Alexandre sleeps. Chantel does not.
Danny does. I will be playing the
Chantal
role
wants
of Alexandria while she sleeps.
Kaz
All right.
is actually an albatross and just sleeps on the wing.
How is it she does that? I don't know. What I'm just puzzled about is how she never runs into the cart that way. And when we stop, she stops. I just don't get it.
Very
Practiced art. Don't worry about it.
While we are making our way, Mysel will try to rack his brain for any pertinent information about demons.
Sure.
Common resistances, vulnerabilities if they exist.
You know,
Yeah.
demons.
Right. So no roll required on the following information.
Yay.
So in general, in the most broadest of terms, demons are raw entropic forces. They look the way they do because it's the closest thing we can sort of understand. If you will, they're more like, if you fire elemental, earth elemental, water elemental, entropy elemental. What the hell is an entropy elemental? It's a demon. They literally exist to to destroy order. If the prime divinities exist to create order, the demons exist to reduce order, which is the bone of contention, if you will, between the two groups. And so what they tend to look like is basically what, people are used to getting their heads around with them, if you will. Kind of in the same way that you had this very odd representation of whatever that thing was you saw in the forest, that what you're thinking is the raw representation of time.
Yeah.
Demons are varying levels of power, raw representations of entropy. Entropy in the state of increasing chaos and disorder within the universe.
This is not making me more confident about what's about to happen.
So the biggest thing about them is that because they literally are there to throw rules in the garbage, jump up and down on them, put high explosives under the rules, sit an anvil on top of the rules, touch off the high explosives to put the anvil and the rules into low Earth orbit, they tend to cheat straight up. They tend to use entropy where other people would use creation, or they tend to use entropy where normally bound things would be obligated to use influence and things like that. Do not bother hitting them with entropy; they will giggle.
Like that.
It just doesn't do anything.
I'll try to remember that.
The other problem with them is they are actually functionally alien intelligences. So just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean it doesn't have a reason. It's literally not trying to do their demons are literally not trying to achieve anything that makes linear one-to-one sense with humanoid aspirations. They don't need to drink. They don't need. It's just a list of things that just don't fall into their huge prime motivators. Just no, it's not a concern.
Would that mean
Drowning them's right out?
Is that sort of like alien intellect? Is that like it would be difficult to impossible to like use diplomacy, or specifically in my sort of like it'd be very difficult to use like influence and presence abilities on them?
More like diplomacy.
Right.
They don't operate on reasonable timescales. Reasonable defined as anything that even Heo would probably be able to get his idea around for a day planner. And they don't particularly want anything that makes sense to normal intelligence, humanoid intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And they, because of that, by the way, have an incredibly weird sense of morality. They don't particularly consider taking life a problem, because life is just a highly ordered construct. But from their perspective, there is absolutely no difference between Alexandri and the Golem. These are things Heo would have learned over his tenure on so far. Generally, anyone who deals with them almost invariably is making the following mistake. They think they've gotten a good deal.
That definitely sounds like Jenny. I was like, I don't think we can use that specifically here, but it definitely sounds like her.
Do they share that information?
Yeah.
Okay.
My sort gives that a brief rundown of that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably before Alexandre. Before Alexandre goes to bed, it's like quick primer on demons, and it's like
Oh, great. Now I'll go to sleep.
As long as I can shoot it or stab it, I think I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, they do suffer from kinetic energy poisoning. There's no doubt about that. But
Kinetic energy poisoning.
Took me a moment, but I got there. Before Alexandra goes to sleep, Kazra?
Yeah.
You've always lived in Cliff Spider.
For as long as I've been, conscious enough to, yeah, mostly, yeah.
Can you fight? What do you? Can you
Enough.
defend yourself?
I carry this knife around, yeah.
I mean, other than that, fuck off huge knife.
Yeah, no. Usually the fuck off huge knife will do it.
Do you use the fuck off huge knife to scare people away, or do you use it to attack them?
Well, I don't usually need to attack people. I usually just show them a big fuck off knife and they go away.
hence the name.
It's a big fuck off knife. You fuck.
Is
You,
its name
yeah,
fuck
dude,
off?
you fuck off. Yeah. I can shoot a bow and arrow. I haven't done it in a while, but definitely willing to give it a try. I do not own one, but if one should become available, I can. I'll help. I'll make sure that you guys don't. I'm gonna be more of a like, hey over there, kind of person. In the probably. I
Over
really
there,
don't.
that thing that's going to kill you. Probably watch out.
And then I shoot at it, or I distract it, or something. I will help. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You don't sound reassured by that. I get it. I get it. As I said, I am not a knight. I did express this at length before.
That's why I did.
That's right. That's why you got big and shiny over here. However, I will help. I've never fought before, but I will help in the way that I can.
You're gonna do great, Kaz. Don't worry.
Thanks, Spider.
Just
Just kind of sits there with her knife, just sort of like rocks back. Thanks.
Maybe I won't go to sleep. Maybe I'll just rest.
No. She kind of like gestures with the knife. No. You should sleep.
Please be careful with that.
Look, I know what I'm doing. I've had the knife.
No, I mean, don't point the knife at me because Big and Shiny, I don't have a name for him yet. Big and Shiny might think that you're threatening me and attack you, and that doesn't seem like
Big and Shiny. Big and Shiny. Alexandria is my friend. I'm doing this for emphasis. Do you understand that? Emphasis?
Is this the truth?
Yeah.
Don't hesitate.
Oh no.
I'm just there was that brief moment where the hand was starting to reach for the knife.
Don't kill me. Then I can't help you at all.
Oh. Friend. She's a friend.
Thank you. Say it louder.
She's a friend.
Thank you. Friend. She kind of like puts the knife away. I'm just saying that you should sleep. Maybe you not being sleepy would be the best thing. Am I right? Can I back up, please? Yes?
Yeah. No, you should definitely sleep, Alexa.
Okay.
As soon as anything happens, I imagine you'll wake up first, but we'll get you up.
That's what I can do. I can stay awake. That's fine. I'm a light
You
sleeper
work all
anyway.
night too.
I'm a light sleeper anyway. I'll keep watch.
Here when I can keep watch. Get some rest, Kaz.
Okay. She kind of.
Just immediately goes to sleep.
Yes. Yes.
Beak hits the shoulder feathers out like a light.
It's
very
dark,
soft
and
over-
the bird brain goes, sleep now.
It's very soft over here. I don't know what to tell you. It's plush as fuck.
Plush as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. That, but burb.
Yeah.
All right. Is during the few hours of travel it will take you folks to get your trusty wagon over to the ruins. Is there anything that Mysel and Spider are discussing? Spider driving, and with Mysel riding figurative shotgun.
Yeah, I imagine so, yeah.
Psychic shotgun, thank you. Have you two ever fought something like this?
I mean, not in a while, but yeah.
That's more comforting than I thought it would be, funnily enough. It's not a no.
Well, I mean, I'm certainly capable of temporarily incapacitating, well, people in general. But it's the sort of thing where, I mean, demons are obviously just different, but minds are good at defending themselves. And sort of like once it overcomes something, it's kind of hard sometimes to do that thing again. You have to sort of change it. So I got options, but eventually it will probably have shaken off those main ones. Obviously, Hio is a bit more direct, but if it's more than just the demon, we need to handle other things first. I might be me at the beginning just in case, and we can try and lock it down, deal with the others, return focus. But I don't know how long I can do that.
Okay. I didn't follow a whole lot of what you just said, but it
If
sounds
required,
good.
I can temporarily turn off or distract its brain.
Yep, that does sound good.
But once it shakes that off, I likely won't be able to do anything, at least the major versions of that, in the length of a fight.
Right.
I was just thinking that we don't know if it's just going to be just the demon or if it's going to be demon and some, I don't know, friends. But I was thinking if that's the case, I can try and lock down the demon in various ways until the other threats, or the other way around, potentially.
No, that sounds good. I feel like if you and Alexandri can, between you, keep a demon at bay, I can probably shoot whatever else turns up.
Yeah. Yeah.
More of those bloody dog things. No, you weren't. That's a long story.
Okay. Dog things is broad. That's a lot of things.
What were they called again, Michelle? The
Werekin?
hybrid. Sorry.
Yeah, the werekin.
The werekin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Genevieve attacked us with werekin.
Oh, Werekin. Yeah, them as a they're I guess on Meisel scale they're a bit more recent because they were
I don't think Meisel's heard of them. I mean, that is literally something that's just sort of crawled into the woodwork in the past 50 years. It's
Yeah.
it's essentially a failed weapons program, as I've said. Yeah, the Burning Lash was messing around with. Yeah, it's a failed weapons program from the Burning Lash, and it just turns out that some people think they make great gladiatorial critters.
It's like comes from like the Lanogiianes school of bioweapon thought.
Sometimes you guys just say words.
Sorry.
Reference to the movie Aliens.
Oh no, I understood.
Okay, that's right.
Oh,
I
those
didn't.
words we got.
No.
But it's like suddenly realized, like, yeah, from outside context, there's like 2 or 3 things that you require different types of context to get in that moment. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, okay.
It's an inside joke inside an inside joke.
That's about right.
Certainly haven't done a pitched battle in a while, though. So,
Okay.
I mean, even before wasn't really, well, definitely wasn't my style, but even Hio wasn't how we wanted to solve problems.
Yeah, it's never like the ideal way to go about things.
Yeah, a lot of things have gone wrong at that point, in my experience.
Still, at least we have a surprise up our sleeves. He, like, looks over at the suit of armor in the wagon.
Yeah, that's. She gets better at it. Works out how to make an actual Praetorian. She could probably bring Chevalier back.
Meisel, you and Hio had some sort of direct contact with the song before.
Hio did, but yeah.
How familiar was Hio with the song, or you, as a thing before that moment?
Just double check. I'm pretty sure we weren't. Michelle?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
This was a literally first time out of the blue, what the heck is a song sort of moment.
Yeah, no, that was new.
Right. Okay. So you haven't met anyone like Alexandria before?
I mean, broadly, like.
I don't mean a spoiled noble brat.
specifically-
I mean someone who can do the kind of magic she does.
Objection, Your Honor, leading the witness.
I've definitely met people who believe that their abilities come from some powerful entity, usually a god or demon or something like that.
Like clerics.
It's never, yeah, but it's
not the same.
never
is
as personal,
right?
as it seems with Alexandre and never as provable, I guess.
Yeah, the whole like, she can show the God song to everyone else. That's like scary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's scary, but like reassuring as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, yep. As long as it's on our team, right?
I've been around long enough. I don't even need to be around that long to pick up that the world is full of weird things. Like I specifically traveled to see different places, experience different cultures. And while broadly what people are people, doesn't mean that the specifics can't be surprising or seemingly unexplainable.
Hmm.
But this is definitely up there.
I'm glad it's not just me then.
No. It's always I never went looking for trouble or even people to help. We just, like I said, people are very similar wherever you go. And well, one of those things is that there are people that take advantage of others, even whether it's for control or violence. And Hio and I were just bad at turning away from that. Kept getting involved, I guess.
Those patterns, that cycle of petty violence that happens at every level of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing. We didn't set out to do it. And often we wouldn't even realize that we'd gotten involved until we were. Kind of like how, well, you didn't set off to interact with demons and songs.
That's it, right? When you're dealing with some bully on the alleyways of the capital, you don't really think that divine beings are dealing with their own bullies.
Or that they need your help.
Certainly that.
But then you get the other side of that coin. It's when you realize you can help.
Well, let's lay a trap for a demon then.
Yeah. Let's do that.
So the day is going to pass relatively uneventfully. It's about 6 hours of travel to cover the distance you were planning on. You folks were up and moving relatively early, as much because you were in for sound alarm clock as anything else. At some point, while both Alexandre and Kaz are sleeping, there's going to be this incredibly heavy hand is going to come down on Mysel's shoulder.
Oh dear.
Whereas they're, Mysel and Spider sitting up at the front on the cart, driving along. And not quite as heavy as a light anvil, but not far.
One dropped an anvil on you gently.
Yes. I think both of you, just because the squeak from Mysel will kind of both of you turn around and it's granite. It obviously has come out of the automaton. It has come up out of the wagon and is halfway up the ladder behind you. Hand on your shoulder, looking directly at Mysel. And again, it doesn't have irises. It has two glowing points of magic that are about where eyes ought to be, but they don't move around. So it's very much this sense of uncanny valley when you look at this otherwise impassive slab granite face. It's the face from one of the characters of Easter Island or an Aztec carving kind of idea. It just happens to be moving, awkwardly enough. And there's going to be, again, that kind of rumble that kind of wiggles through the whole cart. Who are you?
I'm Mysel. Hi.
Without letting go of Mysel, it's not really a grinding noise. It's the sound of millstones turning more than anything else. And you, looking at Spider.
Jasper.
Are you friends?
Of each other or you?
I mean, yes, either way, really.
Yes. Yes. Either way.
And I assume for your interest, specifically Alexandre as well.
Is Alexandre the creator?
Yes.
Yes.
And you are friends of the creator?
I like to think so.
Head slowly turns to look at Spider.
Yes. Yeah. Been friends for a while.
Looks back at Mysel. Again, it's this very slowly methodical, almost turret-like motion to the head moving. Why?
Why are we friends with the creator? I don't think anyone's asked me that before. At least that I can remember. I guess it's a degree of common interests and mostly get along. We want to help.
Head slowly rotates towards Spider. And you?
Yeah, just helping her fulfill her destiny.
What is destiny?
Her purpose, the thing she's meant to do.
What is the creator's purpose?
Well,
That's a complicated.
yeah. That's the thing about destiny is a lot of people are going to have opinions on it. End of the day, we want to help Alexandre do what Alexandre wants to do. And a lot of people are going to have opinions on what that is, but really, hers is the one that matters. And that's the same for everyone else here. It's just, I guess the people that have thoughts about Alexandre's destiny are powerful, I guess, would be a way to put it.
Are you powerful?
Well, not in relation to some of them, but in relation to, in general. Yeah, I guess.
Do you have thoughts?
I do, yeah. We all do.
What do you think?
Right now, I'm
And by the way, this thing is it just hasn't let go yet.
I mean, right now I'm thinking that your hand is really heavy, but thinking about what we have to do later today, what that will mean. It'll likely be dangerous. We'll have to look out for each other. And then that makes me think of other people that I've wanted to look out for over the years. Some are more in my thoughts more than others.
Looks over at Spider. Are you powerful?
Not really. Maybe? No, not really.
We seem to have lost a Danny. There was a loud poof, some clicky clacking.
She
and a
had
poof.
she has to dot off for a bit. She just put it in chat.
Ah, okay, yes. Okay.
She's still listening though.
Okay, got it. All right.
I am capable, but not powerful.
Looks at Mysel. Looks at you. Looks back at Mysel. Let's go with Mysel. You mentioned danger. Is the creator in danger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's going to be this absolutely ridiculous Keystone Cops 35 seconds as Granite attempts to throw an incredibly much more agile Spider out of the cart and move Mysel over into Spider's spot. Now, it's not that he's not lacking the strength to do this. He just can't keep a hold of Spider, who just at one point is pretty much standing on top of him, headstands. It's like I say, it's this absolute triangular keystone. And meanwhile, Boris and Alexia are just plodding along.
I am good at driving the car. You don't have to.
But you are not powerful. You cannot protect the creator. He's trying to throw you out of the car.
No, I can do that. I can protect the creator.
Stops, looks at Mysel. Is that true?
Yeah. We're gonna want him along.
Sorry. Misunderstanding.
That's
All
okay.
is forgiven, friend.
Oh, little buddy. Oh, little buddy.
The thing about your creator is there's a lot of different people, different groups that are interested in what she does and who she is. Some of them are less some of them are less friendly than others. And that can be dangerous. And one of them in particular is likely going to attack us in the evening when it starts to get dark. So we're
I do
moving to a
not
place.
understand. The creator is good, yes.
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 Why would anyone want to attack the creator?
Usually because they're not that good. Or,
No, in this case, definitely they are not good. They are bad.
yeah.
Are they powerful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not more powerful than we will be, though.
But powerful enough that we have to worry and prepare.
Granite nods. Turns around, goes back down the stairs.
He's fun.
Yep, that was yeah.
Rolls out his shoulder a little. Strong, too.
Yeah, not complaining on that front.
All right. Sorry, just saw. Sorry, Jamie. I just saw your commentary in the in chat for the stream. Yeah, I just stab things.
I guess I also climb things. I mean, that's
That's usually your go-to. I don't understand why you haven't explained that one yet.
I walk on walls.
well, we're specifically talking about fighting demons. It might not be my top skill, but stabbing
Is that why we
demons.
have to find walls so you can walk them?
No comment.
I see.
You've also recently moved surprisingly fast occasionally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't do that the way I want to for one experience more time though.
All right.
Should we grab a break now?
I was about to suggest that. Yeah, I think
That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
next scene will be basically setting up camp and the evening progressing. I think it's a good time to go to a break. Yeah.
Let's do that. See you in a bit.
All right.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
Think that you'd be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric.
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
He's a vegan!
oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Nothing.
Hugo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
Sort of reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the sea. I'm
Yes.
not gonna eat the sea.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the sea.
Sam,
mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You...
Think they would be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Aerith? Aerith,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
he's a vegan!
oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Nothing.
Hugo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
Sort of reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city. I'm
Yes.
not gonna eat the city. I'm not gonna eat the city. Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You...
Think they might be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
he's a vegan!
oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Nothing.
Hugo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
So reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
Not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Sam,
Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You...
Think don't be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for...
And we're back.
Greg looks different, Chantal.
Greg looks real different.
Emotional support bottle. From emotional support bear to emotional support bottle.
You know what this wine is called as well? This wine is called the Hero of Zero.
That's fantastic.
So I'm gonna have a glass of that.
Uh-huh.
Please drink
Alrighty.
responsibly and/or don't drink if you're underage. Just to be clear. Just be clear on that one. I, however, will drink.
Unless you're French. At which point, drink as long as you have family consent.
You know what? Always drink if you have familial consent. But even if you don't, if they're dicks, like, you know, and you want to drink and you are drinking responsibly, I'm gonna stop now.
I don't know where that was going.
I'm just saying, like, you know, your family's not in control of your whole life, so, like, you know.
Yeah, it's just incredibly odd growing up in a French Canadian family, because I think, you know, special occasions, you turn 12 and the little, you know, half-ounce shot glass, that little half-ounce of wine starts showing up at the table, so you can do toasts with the adults, right? And that's just part of life.
I remember, years ago now, I was watching I was at a folk festival, and they did a great debate style. They got a bunch of comedians together to. I think I'm trying to remember, but I think the topic was like who are the better complainers, Australians or British? And one of
were the Americans not put in there? Did they just fight?
We got to fight for second.
Jeez.
But I think it was the opening guy for the British was like, look, us British, by the time we reach drinking age, we're highly skilled at complaining from everything, from the weather to politics to neighbors. So by the time we reach puberty, we're quite near expert.
That was the end of the sentence. Was there more? I don't understand what comes out of. Oh.
Drinking age followed by puberty.
Yeah. As being you reach drinking age before you reach puberty.
I'm still lost, but I'm English, so I'm both English and Australian. So I feel like,
and I the system, you know.
Like, I'm just lost because I very rarely actually complain, so I'm very confused in general.
I might be misremembering the topic of the debate.
Okay.
We'll complain about that later. All right. So you folks will arrive at the ruins probably an hour before the sun is going to touch the far horizon. Of course, at the elevation you're at, that sort of artificially extends the length of the day to a certain bit. And yet, at the same time, the mountain peaks that surround the plateau also sort of change depending anywhere. Sunset isn't uniform across the plateau. It depends which mountain you're in line with, sort of thing. But yeah, it looks that once upon a time it was probably a central stone brick building, possibly a decent sized inn, or possibly a Reeves house. And you can see where the foundations of a few other smaller buildings around it are. The area is all overgrown. Obviously, Kazra and Mysol, between the two of them, will be able to identify that most of the plants that are growing around here are the sort of things that, you know, sort of require bare earth to get going. So this is all stuff that's grown in since the place has gone down. And you know, the stonework shows evidence of fire cracking and things like that. So the guess that a lot of you collectively come up with is this is probably the site of a settlement that was burned and abandoned. So yeah, the walls are, you know, the primary building, the one that's really got walls worth talking about. They're about shoulder height, meter and a half not quite 2 meters kind of thing. So Kazra can kind of stand up and look over the top of them. But at the same token, there's windowsills cut into them and things like that, where obviously enough the top half of the window or the top quarter of the window was probably going to have done in beam work or something, which sort of creates these sort of odd crenellations instead. It's mostly weathered whatever it has, whatever happened here, modestly well. And the weather itself since then hasn't actually done a huge amount of damage. There's the odd bit, like I say, of burnt timber or something scattered about the place. But as in terms of having a wall at your backs or walls surrounding you, this is pretty yes, Chantal.
I mean, to distract you, but crenellations do sound delicious, and they always have. I want crenellations. I want to taste them. Continue,
Kind
please.
of like very similar in taste to donut holes. So
See, I struggle with that because one, I've never had a donut hole from the perspective of like what people actually eat, but also two, when I asked for specific treats as a kid, my parents would say they would give me the middle of a ring donut and then just left it at that. And
Yeah,
so
that was my
donut
point.
holes, I don't like it. They don't taste like crenellations.
They absolutely do taste like crenellations. They're very similar culinary techniques. So
I'm so confused right now.
What is the middle of a ring donut, Jamie?
It's just the donut hole.
Donut holes in the US are like small balls of donut.
Yeah.
The middle of a ring donut is
Yeah.
nothing because there's nothing there. It's a ring donut. There's nothing in the middle. So my parents would not give me anything. The middle of a ring donut is what they would offer me, not donut holes.
Yes, in Canada, a donut hole is the middle of a ring donut, which is nothing, and a crenellation is the chunk that's cut out of a wall. It's nothing. Hence my comment, they're very similar in culinary technique.
But donut holes are balls of donut. They're a product. You can buy them.
Yes, except
But not-
the middle of a ring donut will just be an empty packet if you want it.
I don't want it.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want it either.
Very similar in taste to crenellations.
I would like to say this here is the true horror.
A crenellation. Crenellation's the gaps? I thought it was the whole thing.
Well, okay, so technically it's the whole thing, but the whole thing, if you fill it in, is also called a wall.
Yeah.
But what makes it a crenellation is the gaps.
Thinking it's still a wall.
I think the gaps have a specific name. Like
Yes, the shooty spot.
the shooty spot.
Well,
Doesn't sound like
how
crenellation at all.
could we forget?
Let's move on because this is us, right? This is how we are.
Here we go with neurodivergence diverging.
It's funny, right? Like it's so ironic that neurodivergence just leads to divergent.
Two
So
paths met in an sorry.
So yeah, you folks are able to find a good place for Boris and Alexei to graze some fresh grasses and things that they seem to particularly like. They have this bizarre fascination with thorn bushes. They will happily nosh in a very giraffe-like kind of way. If it's got thorns on it, that goes straight to the top of the culinary list.
Spicy trees. Can't blame them.
They're happily grazing on entire raspberry canes currently. I don't seem too concerned about the raspberries themselves, but the raspberry canes are making some good eating apparently. So yeah, you have about an hour before the sun dips and it begins to grow dark. Anything you folks plan on doing?
Yeah, I mean, Spider's literally going to start making traps.
Okay.
Yeah. did Mysore give us some indication of the size of this thing that we're going to fight?
He would have, yeah. It
So,
was big from memory.
Yeah, I mean, she's tall. It was taller than she was. And like I say, yeah.
Like Chevalier
anatomic-
taller than she was, or like
Yeah, Chevalier taller, yes. And as I say, it falls into the category of anatomically improbable.
okay.
So could be much larger, could be much smaller. It's anatomically incorrect anyway.
So like I say, the rough description I gave is it had 4 arms, 2 of them ended in hands, 2 of them ended in swords. It had legs, 3 of them, which all ended in tentacles, and it just sort of oozed along as it went. It kind of didn't, but it was sort of doing the comedy Eeyore thing of dragging the third leg behind it, so it didn't so much progress smoothly as sort of accordion along in a way that, as I said, was anatomically improbable.
None of these are good words.
Eeyore has never done that. Eeyore is anatomically correct.
Igor.
Oh, Igor. I heard Eeyore.
No, not. Oh dear. More like, Master, it's coming.
That one. I got it. All right.
does it do the thing where instead of like turning around, it just limps on a different leg?
Yes.
Cool. Fun.
Yeah. And like I say, so.
Yeah, there'd be a.
Like as you recall, if I remember correctly, Lucas was essentially the tallest of the lot, other than with Chevalier being, of the people of the breathers in the group, if you will. Lucas was the tallest of the 3 of them.
Yes.
She was, and Genevieve was essentially eye to eye with Lucas. And this thing was taller than she was. So but like I say, odd, asymmetrical shoulder width, etc., makes it kind of hard to judge what the Chevalier frame of reference in this picture is. But yeah, taller than she was.
Right.
Yeah, I think Master spends a bit of time just sort of getting a rough understanding of the sort of lay of the land, as it were.
Yep. So the original settlement has what's left of a ring ditch around it. It was obviously filled in at one spot. You can see where there was a wooden palisade around the place. It was long ago burned down, and what didn't burn was scavenged. But you can see where the ring ditch was. You can sort of tell which way the attack came is where the ring ditch was filled in. So there is still most of a ring ditch that's kind of swampy. It's kind of that swampy, it rained recently and doesn't drain well kind of smell. And yeah, about 20, 30 meters, sort of in all directions out to the edge of the ring ditch, from where the central building that you are occupying is. The actual road, or what's left of it, is also very obvious, but again, interestingly enough, it doesn't connect to the outside. You can see where it should, but obviously there was a bridge that went there, and that bridge is long gone. So it looks like the original attack, they literally filled in the ring ditch and then came across that. Not hard to do if you're willing to take a few arrows, or happen to have an elemental handy. Let's see, another easy way to move dirt, right? Granite is spending its time shuffling around, watching everyone. At any one point in time, it's going to be staring intently at somebody. Kazra has taken to wing and is scouting the area around, just in case the bad guys have set up, well, first off, is you're very, very close to Goblinkin, to a Goblinkin tribe, who contest the actual location you're in. You know, if you take a look at the map, there is no border here. It is an ongoing argument between the Confederacy and the local Goblinkin tribe about where the border is. So you're in a functionally contested territory to start with. And then there's Mysel had intimated that there was some kind of scrying device going to be used to find out where you were going or where the attack was supposed to go. So, have the bad guys already beaten us here and posted up or not? So she's looking around for that.
Right.
Hasn't found anything of concern yet.
How late in the day is it?
About an hour to sunset. So 6-ish, 6 coming up on 7 kind of time. I'd have to double check to find out the exact hour of sunset, but it's something like that. After supper.
Alexandra would probably be starting a fire
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that we can see.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think she's going to be able to maintain light in combat circumstances.
Yeah.
All right.
Might try and with the help of granite, I guess try and fortify some areas, make them slightly more defensible. Move chunks of stuff as required.
Yep. Are you doing this as Mysel or as Heo?
Probably Mysel unless they need help to do it, because Mysel probably have a slightly better eye. From this perspective of someone person-sized, what do they need?
Yes. What did you decide on Granite's might to be, Chantel? Your creation.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
What might stat did you give your creation?
Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Granite is a good name, so I'm just going to stick with that. 5.
5. So in fact, very strong. So carrying tree trunk around by self strong. Okay, got it.
Granite's made of stone. I kind of just went heavy on, just so that you know. What do we have? Protection. So 6 protection, 5 fortitude and might, and then presence 3 because stone.
Yeah. Awkward looking.
And perception 2 because he's been doing a lot of looking. Will 2 presumably because magic from La Chanson. And agility 3 because
yeah, actually those are good. Yeah, very good stat pick.
So I kind of went with that and then just said anything else. Oh, and learning 2 because Alexandre very specifically asked him to.
Yes,
you made a proto chevalier, you very much did.
I literally make a. I made my friend. That's what I did. I made my friend.
I'm just here to raise a family, said the necromancer.
Look.
Yes. There would probably be a moment at some point. And whether other people see this or not is it's up to them really. But there'd be a moment where Mysel was relatively alone and he would have essentially gone to wherever they've put their gear, like their packs and stuff like that. And he would go through his bag and he pulls out this a dagger essentially. It's sort of it's not not ornate but definitely beautiful kind of. And a sort of level of craftsmanship where it's like anyone looking at it will be like, well, that's really well made. That's really well made. And then the more you know about the craft, the more you go, oh no, that's a really well made.
Right.
And there's no upper level of that. You sort of get to the point where you're like, oh no, actually. And he just sort of just holds it and looks, and he's looking at it. And he's just sort of, and then he just sort of says, could have really used you here. Or he's better at this than I was. Am. Much better eye for these sorts of things. That, and you generally quite good at pointing out when I'm focusing on the wrong thing. Worried about the others. And they're basically just kids. I mean, to be fair, I don't think we were any different when we were their age. He sort of takes a deep breath and puts it back and maybe so wipes his eyes a little bit and heads back out.
You turn around and practically run face first into Granite. Were they powerful?
Yeah.
What thoughts did they have?
The best.
Were they good?
Yeah. But then some people were bad. And they're not around anymore.
Granite doesn't nod, but you're pretty sure he just nodded. Like there's no physical manifestation of the movement, but you are left with that sense that nodded. And then he does that. Then it does that really weird thing that automatons do, where the head remains facing and the entire body goes thump, 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 and then the head spins around the other way and it marches off.
It's a really specific reason why Chevalier didn't do that.
The clouds begin to roll in, not much before sundown. It seems to accelerate the process of darkness crawling in. The darkness tonight is almost feeling oppressive, like it has its own weight to it. The air is kind of feeling almost chewy. That wet woolen blanket kind of feeling that a combination of still air and humidity will give you. And kind of, the hairs on the back of your on the backs of your arms or the back of your neck are kind of like, oh.
Could
And then,
Alexandre talk to Granite?
Yeah.
Before that, and just say, did you make a decision?
you have friends. They have thoughts.
Yes.
They are good thoughts about you as creator.
That's good, I suppose. Do you have thoughts?
No.
Okay. Would you like to be my friend?
Sort of glacial moment is the best way of describing it. How can I be friends with my creator?
That sounds to me like you had a thought. You said my friends have thoughts. And you just had a thought because you don't know. And that means you thought about it. So I would say if you want to be, you can be friends with me if you want.
Are thoughts different than questions?
Oh, I don't know. No. Well, no, I don't think so. I have a lot of
I will
questions.
have thoughts about questions.
Okay. We can do that.
Wanders off.
Philosophical. Yes, Sam. That is exactly how it works for Alexandre. Fall into my logic trap, and now you're my friend. Sounds a lot like John Doe, doesn't it? Really?
Oh, John Doe.
Or an early Star Trek episode, whichever.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that would be Great Mustache's version. Yeah.
Oh no. Just no.
So yeah. Anything you all you folks are all talking about, or are you just waiting?
I mean, yeah, Spider's doing anything he can to make the place more defensible. We've got some sort of pit trap, and with spikes in it, if possible.
Yep.
Any sort of like places he can take cover above the walls so that he can shoot down from above.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll give you the group will collectively have 2 advantage, not legend points per se, but 2 situational advantage is what I'll call them. Okay. So to reflect preparation. So 1 can be used for defense and 1 can be used for offense.
Okay.
That's actually a good point. Does anyone have legend points?
I have a vague recollection that I might.
We've
Yeah, once upon a time we were tracking them on the channel, but I don't know whatever happened to that. Gotcha. Okay. Let me dig here real quick.
I'm fairly certain I didn't. So
yeah, I'm not remembering.
You do not have. Yeah. I know for a fact that you don't. I know that Jamie tends to use them as soon as they get them. But I don't know if that happened this time. I'll check.
Yeah, I recall having one at one point, but I don't remember if I used it since then.
Yeah, Kazra doesn't have any. I think Chevalier had one. Funny that. No. Anyway.
Yes, yeah, I remember that specifically, actually. Yeah. Us having that discussion and being like, well, see ya.
Yeah, by my accounting, currently the group has one legend point. But no individual player has one.
Okay.
And so we will say you have a so you've got 1 situational defense and 1 situational offense. That to reflect the fact that some time was spent preparing.
Is that each?
No, that is for the group.
Cool. Ooh, great mustache. Hereby do bequeath upon all players 3 legend points, not 4. Nor 2, but 3.
That is something I keep threatening to do. I keep threatening to do is to work up a system where you can spend your channel points or make donation or make donations of to drop a legend point in for the group or for the villain.
We had that in.
I'm okay with that.
The
Shadow the Demon Lord. Yeah,
it was
that's
wild. It was a little wild.
I would say
well, yes,
more than the original 10.
Well, and point of fact, it's actually part of the reason I hung out and it was, that was part of what attracted me. Is I remember that you were one of the few channels at the time that essentially had audience participation in Theo. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. We should eventually adopt. We couldn't really do it until we got affiliate, but now that we're here,
And
it's
now we have
probably something.
we can do it.
Yeah. So.
It just needs.
For shalt thou not count, neither count 2, excepting the thou, then proceed to 3. 5 is right out.
5 is right out.
No, Tessie, we're all
That was
classically trained.
Just the right amount. It's just the right amount of
Pure
reference. Thank you.
reference. Love it.
We're all classically trained.
So we are all classically trained, and we have a
I
philosophical.
love that we're talking about
golem.
Monty Python and classically trained.
See, the thing is with that though, not to go too far into it, but they're all classically trained.
That is true.
So when you're talking about that kind of humor, it actually is coming from classically trained humor, which means it's coming from it's a derivation of Shakespeare. Let's move on.
I mean,
Oh.
they weren't classically trained;
that
they were
took a long time to
historically
get
trained.
to.
Like a lot of like, the Monty Python movie was like surprisingly accurate in weird areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what made it funny. It was all the stuff that everyone doesn't want to talk about in movies. He's the king. How can you tell? He has got his shit on him. I mean,
That's how you can tell Alexandri's rich. Shit. I wish this were the case, but I feel like if it were to do with channel points, KJ, that would be a mess. Maybe something else with channel points.
Yeah, it would have to be obnoxiously large is the catch. Yeah, like for example, Great Mustache, who's been watching since day one, has got 2,000 points.
Exactly. I have a lot of points. I could just, I mean, I couldn't, but
I don't have that many points, but that's because I used them to do silly things.
Yes. So, all right.
So, save my life.
Yeah. So as I say, the weather begins to turn. The best description I can come up with is ugly, as the sun tracks towards the horizon. The wind begins to come up, twirling old leaves and producing a particularly unpleasant whistle through some old timber that's off to a corner, and somewhere a bell rattles disconsolately. It takes you a little while to realize that there's something akin to somebody's the backdoor dinner bell is still standing improbably in spite of the rest of the building having long burned down. The one piece of wood with the old triangle hanging off the back of it is still there and rattling slightly in the wind. And a bit of a drizzle starts to set in. Just enough to get you to the phrase my son likes to use is an aggressive drizzle. It's not heavy enough to be a rain, and it's not light enough to be a mist. It just winds up uncomfortable and cold.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what would happen.
And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so we wait in the rain.
Granted, of course, is completely oblivious to the concept of discomfort due to rain. He's just still tromping back and forth across the section he's decided he's patrolling.
Good lad.
Head not necessarily pointing in the direction of progress, which is always vaguely disconcerting. Basically, as it's walking along, the head rotates independently at 22-degree shifts.
He doesn't fall in the pit. That's fine.
Yeah, Spider had to. No, don't walk there. Walk over here.
All right, we're not all about progress here anyway.
So there, at some point, probably 10, 15 minutes after the sun has actually gone down, and so full darkness has fallen, The only real light you've got is the odd shafts of firelight darting out through the ruined half windows of the old building you've posted up in. Spider has got himself a crook in an old oak, which, in spite of everything that's passed on through these, is still growing mostly okay. High enough up in the branches to be mostly indistinguishable in the darkness. And there will be what can only be described as an ominous roll of thunder. That kind of sound that there's no light to it. It seems to be from way up. This dull rumble that just kind of progresses across the sky and echoes for several seconds. There'll be another one like that. It seems to go on for longer. Then there will be a brilliant, eye-jarring is the best description I can give you, brilliant flare of blue-white light that cracks from one cloud to another, scintillating shafts of lightning rocketing across the sky, dazzling everything, painting the world around you in flat, stark white.
Here we go, everybody.
And almost as fast as that's out of Spider's mouth, he realizes that there's an arm reaching up out of the ground behind Alexandri.
Oh, I'm gonna shoot the arm. What the hell?
You're not going to tell me? You're just going to shoot at it?
Behind
You're gonna-
you.
Thank you. Thanks. That's important.
Both is good.
Both is especially good. Can you imagine Granite turns around and it's like, I'll attack you?
You attacked the creator. I shall take you and your tree to the cliff. Right. So the good news is, so it's initiative. The fun has begun.
I haven't done this in a while. Okay.
Yeah, fun in sufficiently wide definitions of the term.
It's a dexterity check for that, right?
It is dexterity. That is correct.
Nice.
Is Granite going to go on my initiative?
Granite actually. I will.
I can roll
What's your agility score?
2. And Granite,
2. No,
Granite's just higher than mine. Granite's just 3.
Yeah, Granite will get its own roll.
Okay.
I got a natural 20.
Nice.
Nice. Granite.
Me too.
Oh wow.
Beautiful. Right, fantastic.
Everyone was really on edge.
That tracks.
All right. So, what is Alexandri's initiative, please?
Oh, I didn't even roll the D6. My goodness. Oh.
That's happy girl noises or happy boy noises, either way.
Here we go.
38.
Wow. Okay, that's insane.
Alexandria is on it.
one with the terror. All right. And what's Granite
creating the goody good chemicals in the brain?
And what is Granite? What's Granite's roll?
1 second, please.
Mhm.
I got halfway through what I was doing. Is an 8. Granite, please.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. Semi-autonomous mountain goes slowly. Got it. Spider.
21.
21. All right. My soul.
33.
Wow, another fantastic roll. All right. And then do I hang on a second while I try and find Kaz's sheet. I didn't think to do that earlier. Duh. Please hold. Danny, there we go.
Just to be clear, those birds tucked so far in my hood. I don't care what noises they make. They are tucked so far. Like they're just they may well be in another plane. Like they're just not even here.
Fantastic. Okay, there we are. Kazra by Danielle. Agility 4. Nice. That's a D20 and a D10. Flighty bird is flighty. Who knew? So that's a 7. Not a great roll, but all right. All right. 0-7. Okay, then just let me sort this out. So Kaz goes there. Alexandre. All right. So the way we're going to do this is because Spider was had sort of pre-action declared Overwatch, if you will. I'm going to give Spider the chance to pot shot the immediate threat to Alexandre. Then we'll actually drop into the initiative action, and Alexandre will go first, if you will. Okay.
Oh, cool. Yep, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah. Now I have to remember.
So what you
how
are
the
looking
rules
at.
work.
So what you are looking at reaching out of the ground is this skeletal, mangled hand. You're not even sure it's human. That's kind of reaching up out of the soil towards Alexandre.
Yeah, right. It's like a. Just remind myself. It's like a prepare or something that lets you.
Yeah. So essentially what you do is you declare no movement, and it allows you to gain advantage 1. You trade your movement action for, it's called a focused action.
Focused action.
It also uses up your minor action as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your,
Can be
What
relevant.
else could I do with a minor action? Remind me.
If you have boons active, you generally will have to sustain them as a minor action.
Right.
Yep.
I don't generally have those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have boons really at all. Okay, and then lethal strike gives me I've got a
lethal strike requires the enemy to not know you're there, or for you to have a friendly in melee range of the target. Both conditions are true.
Okay, that's good. So that gives me another advantage.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. All right. I think. Then that's what we're gonna. Yeah. I mean, he's not trying to do any fancy stuff here. He's just shooting the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have. I will do a focused action. So it's
Very good. So advantage 2.
2. There's another D10 and one more D10. Come on. My collection of dice is being obscure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go. All right. Oh, okay. No. Things could have gone better for our heroes here. There were three ones on those D10s.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, admittedly, one was a 10, so we're not out of problems yet. So that
Mhm.
explodes, but the D20 was only a 2, so we're at 13.
Mm-hmm.
And another 9, 22.
22, that is a hit.
Not for much, I imagine.
What you are firing at is a lesser restless dead. It has a guard of 14.
Okay.
So you hit it for 8.
For 8. And that means I don't get a bane, right? Because it's got to be.
No, you kill it.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just literally you shave the arm off at the ground, and it turns to, and the arm, which is above ground, literally just starts at the fingers and ripples backwards and turns to ash.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's 1.
What becomes obvious to all of you, no rolls required, is the ground around you is beginning to heave with undead pulling themselves up out of the ground.
That's not a good thing.
So, what would Alexandre like to do?
I mean, I think, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cast a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm aiming for power level 5.
All right.
And Yeah. The space of the barrier would be all around Alexandria, so top and bottom included in that. So just
Clunk,
no one comes
locked in a
close if it
locked in a
works.
fridge.
Basically, just shove myself into a fridge. So 2d8. See if I got it. Oh, 10, 17, 19. Yes.
Okay.
For power level 5.
That
19?
would
Yes.
need 20 for power level 5.
I need 20. Okay. So power level
3.
3 is what I get.
Yeah.
Okay.
That gives you 3 panels, I believe.
Oh no,
How
it's not about
many-
panels. It's just an area of
Okay.
effect, but then I
Ah, okay.
choose something to happen if they come
Hmm.
within range. I'm going to
Right.
go with damaging.
Okay.
So that's a D4 if they deliberately choose to come into my
Mm-hmm.
range,
Mhm.
or end their turn there.
Okay. And so what does it look like?
It basically looks like a golden net of musical
Alright.
notes.
Okay.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Okay.
it
Very
is
interesting.
very-
Okay.
And I'm just going to move to somewhere that there isn't an arm or some kind of creature sticking up. I'm going to stay near the fire.
I mean, reasonable.
Don't think the barrier moves with you.
No,
No, it
but
does
I could I have done that beforehand?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yes, you can.
Not running
you can
away
move,
makes sense.
Yeah, move, cast, move to location, cast, and then yes, dig in, as it were. So you've got the fire at your back, and you're surrounded, and you've got your light duty barrier D4 damage protection around you.
Okay.
Okay.
So the area. I did not declare the area beforehand because I'm still relearning. It also doesn't say it on the card, which is
It just
Yeah.
uses multi-targeting.
okay. But it doesn't say how large the area is. Is kind of what I'm looking
You get
for.
to choose that. It
I
just,
get to choose how large it is.
it just gives you disadvantage depending on how big you make it.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. Is
You
like
get a
if I
certain size. You get a certain
that's
size
what I was
for
saying. I
free.
don't know what
Yeah.
the size. The size is
think
the free size is the one I would have gone for.
Hang on a second. So barrier.
That's okay. I'll find it.
Mhm.
I will find it.
Mhm.
It will be in here. Everything will be
So
okay.
cubes are 1 disadvantage for every 5 foot on the cube of the cube side. You can have a line, which is 5 by 10.
Oh, that's
5
okay.
by
No, I'm
10.
just going to go for the 5. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So I don't know
Making a
if
little
there's
cube around
free
me.
version, but it's like a good start.
Yeah.
Disadvantage 1.
Tiny net.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't come close.
No hugs. Okay.
Taking out my hand crossbow, which
Mhm.
hasn't been
Sure.
seen for like I don't know years.
Yeah. Mysel.
Yeah, Muscle also heads out.
Well, as I say, I mean, everywhere you look, there are varying states of undead pulling themselves up out of the ground, skeletal, mangled.
Yeah.
Some obviously human, some obviously humanoid, some neither. All of them share the same thing: this very dull, purplish greenish light glowing from inside the skull region. It's not their eyes, it's literally glowing from inside the skull.
Right. And we were sort of like sheltering under some kind of like ruined structure.
Yeah, you've got a, like I say, it's probably the foot wall, if you will, or the shoulder wall of the old inn is probably what you're inside. It's just, it works out that apparently there was at least one of them. Yeah, whatever, if whatever force is going is affecting the area. The one thing Mysel doesn't know is if these are quote new undead or if it's just animating the fallen where they fell.
Yeah. We haven't seen the demon.
No. All you're seeing is the undead emerging from the ground.
might actually just shift into here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. How long does that take?
It's just a focus action,
All right.
so he doesn't actually move. He just
Unfolds.
unfolds.
Okay.
Michelle,
Origami
please explain to
boy
us
meat
which is more horrific.
dragon.
Actually, that's a personal choice.
Here it is.
Yep. All right. So my soul rapidly becomes Heo, which is going to need to hop outside the area of the inn to allow space for Alexandri and her fire and prickly wall.
And it probably ends up like sort of like not coiled, but sort of like it's like around it, so, you know, a slightly serpentine
Mm-hmm.
kind of way.
Yep. All right. So there we go. And then you are going to what?
That's all. It's a focus action. That's all I can do.
Oh, focus action. It's all you can do this round. Got
Yeah.
it. Sorry. I heard for some. You said focus action. My brain registered minor action. I don't know why. Okay. Which brings us to Spider.
Yeah, how many of these things are there?
At least a dozen that you can see. None of them have fully pulled themselves up out of the ground yet.
How many would fall within a 25-foot square?
I'll tell you what I will do. I know what the magic number is. I'm just going to leave it to the lot of dice. And I will let you know what the magic number works out to be. Because that's a fairly big area that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So is it 25 square feet or 24-foot radius?
It says here, under ranged multi-targeting, you may target up to 5 foes that fall within a 25-foot square. I'm guessing 25 by
25 by 25. Yeah, that's a huge area.
Is that different from doing an area attack? That's
Yes.
Yes.
No,
it's not an area attack. I just need to know that there are 5 within 25-foot square.
Yeah, it's just that there's a difference between 25 square feet and a 25-foot square, right?
Yes.
There's a huge scale difference there. Almost half of them.
So I can target 5 of them.
Easily, trivially.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think Spider's just like just firing arrows like a madman.
Loosing as fast as they can draw.
Yeah, and I'll focus with my minor action. So that
Mhm.
gives me advantage 2, then I get disadvantage 5. So as a total of disadvantage 3.
All right, yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So get rid of the good one and the good one and the good one. But I rolled decent on the d20, so it's a total of 23.
All right. So you're targeting their guard or their toughness?
I believe it's just a normal attack, so it should be guard.
Right. So then you hit them all for 9 points of damage. Just 1 second. I need to check something on 2 of them. That is a yes, and that is a yes as well. So okay, so you hit 5 of them.
That assumes is lethal strike still in play for all of these, or do they know I'm there now? Because I might need to roll 1 more disadvantage.
They do not know you are there yet.
Okay. Yep. So that's the total.
All right. So that's -9 would be that. So, and then you shot 5 of them all total. So
That's right.
3 of them just literally shatter instantly as the arrows drive home. 2 others, one of them, the arrow lodges straight through the skull. There's a wobble of that, purplish green light, and it slowly turns to look towards you and finishes pulling itself up out of the ground, begins to move towards you. And the other one falls over, and it's the most Disney kind of thing. The body sits up, the hand reaches over, puts the skull back on, and it stands up.
Are there like
What?
were there visual like was anything visually different between those two and the other three?
Not that you can really see, no. I mean, again, lighting is crap. You've got a flicker of firelight from the campfire, but you're on the outside of the wall now. Keep in mind, so it's only where the firelight gets through holes in the wall that it's lighting outside. There's the intermittent flash of lightning, which pastes everything flat white, but also dazzles your and murders your night vision. Right. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, I don't use a bow. I use a crossbow, so it's like a
Yep.
firing bolts.
So the undead will actually will spend their round doing a essentially a major action to move, followed by basically are going to expend all of their movement, if you will, simply pulling themselves up out of the ground to stand and begin orienting themselves towards adjacent targets. So for convenience's sake, I am simply going to say that each one of you are looking at a roughly equivalent number of creepy crawlies. So that would be you've killed that's 5 of them. So there's somewhere around 20 of them.
Yep. Cool. Lots of them.
And so, like I say, so all of them, none of them have any apparent armor or clothing. Or if there is clothing, it's like, the leftover of a collar or maybe a cuff on a hand. There's no, they've been in the ground for a long time. Heyo is familiar with this kind of, they are literally restless dead. They are the unburied who fell and were never given proper last rites. And some source of magic has taken advantage of that to stir them to animation. Sometimes that magic
weren't the best idea, gang. Usually a whole lot less skeletons out in the middle of nowhere than under a town.
Details.
Might not be true here, though.
Yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah, hard to guess, eh? Hard to guess. All right. So that they will spend, like I say, just simply getting up out of the ground. Granite is going to look at one which is staring malevolently in Alexandria's direction. What is his logic, or its logic, please? Do you have a logic stat for it?
0.
0 gets a D. Okay, D20.
I feel like it should be 1, just be based on what he's been doing, but 0 is what it is.
So Granite looks at it, walks over, and is going to attempt to pick it up.
Okay.
So
that
is
definitely
essentially is
something
casting
he's
the
thinking.
immobile bane. That's functionally using might for immobile.
That's what I would have done. Not picking it up, but definitely immobile.
That's a 22. So this thing literally has no vote in the matter. He just, and then he starts marching in your direction with it.
Oh, good. Yeah. That 0 logic. Hey. In the future, Alexandria's going to pay more attention to that, isn't she? Yeah.
And then Kaz. Kaz is going to dive out of the sky and drop a rock on one. And we'll roll a total of 12, which is in fact the only possible way to miss with these things. So the rock will land will land in the hole the thing crawled out of, as it shambles along and departs the hole. I'll get him on the next pass, and heads
Good
off
try.
to the rock pile.
Good try.
If you think she's coming down here fighting hand to hand with undead, you've all lost your minds.
I'm out of the ground. There's no way she'd be anywhere near it. This is why she doesn't hang out on the ground. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
Barely
Have you-
tolerates the ground, let alone under the ground. No.
Creepy crawly ground is out of the question. All right, Alexandre. You have got 4 or 5 of these things within problem range of you. We'll call it that.
within problem range.
Mhm.
I have been running around doing all sorts of things. I have a question. If I am currently maintaining one spell. If I try to use creation
Mhm.
to
You cannot sustain unless you have the feat concentration. You cannot sustain more than one boon or bane. Sorry, more than one boon. But if what you're doing doesn't require a roll, any action to sustain, then you can just do it and just keep. You can sustain the shield while doing other things. Yes, that's legal.
I think the sustain problem would be a next turn problem because you sustain the one you've got, cast the
Yeah.
new one, and then when
Yep.
next turn you have to sustain
I
both.
decide.
You only pick. You can only pick one.
Okay.
Right.
So what I would like to do is essentially try to send out a wave of La Chanson
Okay.
at them and see what
Mhm.
happens.
Okay. So what is the intent?
The intent, because Mysel told them that they're after chaos
Mm-hmm.
or destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Alexandra is essentially trying to do the like, hey, let's take this gun and put a flower in it and grow flowers from it.
Right.
Is essentially what
Okay.
she's trying to do.
All
Make
right.
something from them
All right.
or soothe
Okay.
them back to
Yeah,
sleep. I'm not too sure which. Something
Would
like
it be
that.
like an area of creation? I'm saying because that might require disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yeah. Yeah, she would. She's going to try area. So that would be. How many of them are there? 5?
Yeah, we'll say 5. We're not
She goes
using a
for-
map, so I'm defining things as in problem range or out of problem range.
Depending on how
That
it
makes
might
me
be easier to just get like a square, sort of like
Mhm.
Yeah.
of X
I-
length rather than targeting specific ones.
I mean, I would love a. How close are they? Close enough to have like a 10-foot square be pretty much most of them?
Yeah, let's say that. You can. We'll call it a 10-foot square if you want to hit 3 of them. A 25-foot square if you want to hit all 5.
I'll go a 10-foot square, and that would be a disadvantage 1 or 2.
Two.
1, 2. Okay. Let's see what happens. So, okay. That is, no, that doesn't work very well. That is a 6.
All right, that gives you power level 0. So
Yes, it does.
there will be a flush of magic that flows out. There will be the ringing tones of the song will be audible in all directions. But if the undead can hear it, they give no indication.
Okay. That will be me, I believe.
All right. Heyo. Heyo. What are you doing?
So here's going to string together. Let's say. So it's like 4 5x10 lines.
Okay.
And they each have to touch by like a corner, but he's just sort of like going to snake that around to hit as many of these creatures as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay if that goes over one ally.
All right.
So if it looks like, given that Alexandre's thing didn't particularly work, if it's like need to sort of like sweep a couple of those away,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll sort of go through. But it's like if it has to go over, if it is beneficial to go over someone, we can go over one person, and that will be not a problem.
All right. So what's the best way of explaining? All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to ask you to do, just because we're not playing with a map. I'm going to ask you to make a logic roll.
Okay.
DC 15. Let's start with that.
Ooh, 18.
18. All right. So yeah. So all right. You're going to be able to hit 4 easily with that.
4.
Yeah, you were trying to so allow me to rephrase. So there's 4 around there's a group of 5 around Alexandria. Spider is up a tree, so there's a gaggle heading towards him. The problem is you're not sure if the tree will react, right? So you can hit 4 of the groups. I said, there's 20 of them in 5. So actually, that basically there's about 20 of them. If I say there's 4 or 5 per group, with that roll, you'll hit just about all of them. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Making that a focused action to get rid of all of the disadvantage.
Okay.
And you just sort of like swell of magic, and then just this line of fire that's across as this whole.
Fuck yes. Dragons breathing fire.
There we go. That'll do. Hang on. Okay. 14. 25.
All right. So how does this work? What are you doing?
It's just this line of flame that he just sort of walks along, hosing as many of them as possible, and that would be against guard.
All right.
And it's just damage.
Okay. Fight's over.
Oh, okay.
They have a guard of 13.
Oh, right, of course, yeah.
They have a guard of 14. The heaviest ones have 16 health. All of the other ones have 4 health. They're minions.
Oh.
And so, and it's just there's pieces flying in all directions. And you rolled what?
25.
25. So you'll do 11 points. So that will leave 4 of them when it's over.
Who will
actually
be
there
on?
are 4. There are 4 left.
They will all be on fire.
Yeah.
Because he's got the Bane focus, so he only needs to go 5 over to set them on persistent damage.
Gotcha. All right. What's the persistent damage number?
I want to say D8, but I might be wrong. No, it's D8.
Yeah, all right. Almost guaranteed the fight's over on their turn. So yeah.
Spider lets out like a whoop of joy seeing that's fucking awesome.
There's probably definitely a point where it's like it's definitely at some of those points where it's like, I don't think fire moves that way.
It's napalm that goes around corners. There's a loop of napalm around the tree that spiders just didn't hit the tree. Etc. It certainly feels hot though, from your perspective, Spider. It was definitely some, it's burning gasoline smell, but yeah. What a mess. Spider, there are 4 left. There is 1 near your tree. There is 1 still near Alexandria. There's the one that Granite is carrying, and there is 1 that's desperately trying to figure out what to do with Kaz.
Most of them are on fire.
They're all on fire.
Except presumably the one Granite's carrying.
No, it's on fire too. Granite just doesn't care.
Oh, yep.
The fire definitely parted around Granite.
Granite had a nice little fire bath.
Yeah, but also the ground below me, lots of fire. So not like keen to come down from the tree right now. I'll shoot the one harassing Alexandri.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only one that I care about, really. The others seem pretty handled. And this one probably is handled too, but it's near my friend.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 20.
All right. It dies.
Yeah.
Crack.
Yeah.
So the one near the one that was threatening Alexandri explodes.
Thank you.
And then it gets to be their turn. So then they all die because they take damage as the first thing that happens. So let's just okay. So that's the one that spider shot. That leaves 3 of them that all take a D8 damage. So the first one takes 2 points. Actually, that one's still alive. That's the one that Granite is carrying. The next one takes 7 points of the 5 they have left. So that's the one that was that was trying to figure out how to get at Kaz. And the last one only actually takes 1 point of damage. So there are in fact 2 left standing, which is improbable, but there we have it. And yes, it's wombling. It's now wombling in Heo's general direction. So the
Brave.
Yeah. I mean, they are the smartest we can imagine being, empty husks.
So okay. Right then. So the one attacking just trying. So literally the one trying to deal with Kaz has exactly enough smarts to try throwing a rock, given that something just tried to drop a rock on it.
Wasn't it one of the ones that died?
Yeah.
Oh,
so there was
7
one,
damage.
so there was one
Yeah.
going for Heo and one in Granite's arms.
yes, right. So the one that's in Granite's arms is still suffering from an immobilized bane. It does get a chance to resist. And does not, so it's going to continue to get carried. And will arrive on Granite's turn. And then the one attacking Heo, Might versus Guard, and it has Might is a D10, and it gets a second D10 because it's all that in a bag of chips. And so what is your guard there, please, Heo?
The 20.
That is a 10 and a 7, which is the same as no. It rakes across your the flank of one of your arms, and you can feel the ice in this thing's touch as it claws at your scaling, but it just simply can't get through the scales. You have no doubt in your mind that it would have just gutted a regular human. You're all making this look really, really easy, but I think Heo is very at the point they feel that iciness even through their scales, they realize that, oh, this is serious. Like, these things left alone are a problem, right? Okay, that's its action. Granite moves. And Granite, improbably, drags the one it has and throws it at at the ground in front of Alexandri's feet, which puts it in the damage field.
Yeah.
So it takes a D4.
3 damage.
It only had 3. It is dead.
Oh,
Oh no, it's going to learn that this is effective.
can you
I like
imagine
that
if it was left
throws
with
it towards
one?
you and it just disintegrates as it like.
Oh,
Pushes
thank
it
you,
forward.
Granite. That was. I mean, I'm glad it died on the way. Can you imagine?
I'm guessing that's not it.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, there's still one picking technically at Heyo's flank, but I don't expect to survive any more than a couple of seconds of Heyo actually looking at it. So there's going to be sort of this bit of, I don't imagine that's it. And then sort of under the category of you had to ask, didn't you? It's the pop culture art for the Archangel Michael, only in chromatic reverse. So it's glacial white skin. It is cinder black hair. It is, instead of gleaming gold armor, it's a black hole event horizon slurping the light from the area around it black armor. The sword is... wow. How do you describe something that really just doesn't belong in this world? That's what everyone except Mysel sees.
Mysel's not there.
Mysel, pardon?
Mysel's not there.
Right, that's right. So Heyo is seeing the same thing. Yeah, I'd forgotten that. Sorry. Yes. So, and the sword is actually interesting because as this thing lands, it literally drops out of the sky to land actually mostly in front of Heyo. The angelic wings are tar feather in color, smoke and tar. And the sword hilt comes off a clamp on his inner gauntlet and ignites. And it is miasma. And there is this sort of hiss you mostly hear inside your head as opposed to through your ears. It's not a language that's been spoken aloud in a millennia. And it says, I'm here to destroy you. And that's where we'll pick it up next week.
Oh.
Great. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. No, thank you.
Do not want.
What if we didn't do that? Can we play tic-tac-toe?
Just a friendly round of rock,
I am
paper,
here
scissors.
for Jenga.
Return it, yeah. Sorry, great mustache. The first I think of is the line from the transporter. People with that much firepower don't make those kind of mistakes.
So we fight at a demon that's not a demon. It's just like
It's a reverse
not an
angel.
angel either. Also,
Mm-hmm.
Great. We'll see you next time.
Yep. I mean, I didn't want, poor Kaz to miss out on all the fun, so I saved the big ugly thing for the end, and she'll be here for next week.
Amazing.
That's true and frightening.
You're
If I
welcome.
recall correctly, it's not next week though, right?
What?
Aren't you away next week, Shawnee?
Me?
In
No,
rehearsal?
why would I be away next week? No, next
Is
month.
that next month? Oh, never mind
Yeah.
then. Next
Never
week.
minding intently. Next week.
Next week.
All right.
Unless I got something wrong.
At which point we'll get a panicked email. We'll get a panicked call, Discord chat first thing Wednesday morning. Hi, I'm currently in mainland China doing on a show.
I mean, look, possible. It's possible with the way that I look at my schedule. Woo. I'm assuming next week though, so we'll be back next
Yeah.
week
Yep.
because I
Next
just
week.
won't go anywhere.
Sounds good.
So we'll see you, everyone.
All right. Hope everybody had fun, and we will see you next week.
Adios.
Bye.